actually all on. Hang on a second. I'm going to get VW in this shot. There you go. Now you're actually on. Okay, we're actually on.
All right.
Okay. Anytime you're ready.
Okay, segment 2, 10 minutes. Here we go.
All right, and welcome back, folks. This is This Week on DNG Radio. This next segment, we're going to be talking a little bit more about some success stories. And Linda, I know you were looking at a success story earlier. Maybe we'll talk about that Bond Breads. Remember that story right there? Hey, can you take a look at that one? And give us a little bit of something on that guy, because it was an awesome story.
Oh, that's an awesome story. Do you remember when we were kids and we'd be driving down Charleston and we'd go down the underpass, and if it wasn't raining, it wasn't flooded out, but you'd go by that Wholesome Bread Company, and you'd crank down. I say crank because back then we had the crank windows, and you'd smell that fresh bread baking in there, and oh, it would smell so good.
Yeah.
Now it's a furniture store, high-end, beautiful furniture, but it doesn't smell as good as
what happened to the smell?
Used to. I know, I love the fresh bread smell. Anyway, there's a gentleman, and his name is Carlos, and he started the Bond Breads Bakery, and he started out looking for a job and was working for a bakery, and he got beat up and didn't really know the business, but because of the economy and trying to find work in the gaming industry or hospitality industry, which he went to UNLV for, that didn't pan out. So he started working in a bakery and decided he found a real passion and love for baking breads, and built his business that way, and went to a school and in San Francisco and learned how to make all kinds of fantastic breads from scratch, artisan breads.
Wow. And artisan bread, when we're talking about artisan bread, this guy was making what? Just loaves of bread? And are they just like baguettes, or what is that?
Well, there are different breads with ingredients in there. You're going to have whole grains, or some with nuts in them, or just kind of special things. It's not just flour, water, and yeast. It's going to be fancier,
Gourmet stuff. As a matter, I saw this guy's truck. I just saw his truck like yesterday.
Oh.
And evidently this guy, like you said, he was starting out doing absolutely nothing. I guess in his country, being a bread maker is like
the low end, the uneducated guy. And his wife's family said, if this marriage doesn't work out, if he doesn't work out with this bread thing, we're not going to have anything to do with you.
Wow.
So they were facing being disowned.
Yeah,
because his company didn't make it.
Because he's a bread maker.
Right.
Yeah, but now he's got like 100 employees, and
yes.
So they like him now, probably.
They do, and he caters to the casinos. He is a casino bread caterer, and so they call him for all the special breads and the steakhouses and all the fancy restaurants.
Wow. That's amazing. Because I think when we were talking about this last week too, that there's one guy who has all of the accounts for all of the oxtail in all the casinos.
Right.
And now this guy right here, Bond Breads, he's got a significant number. And he's got the MGM. What else did he have? What kind of? Did it say what he's got on his list? He's got a ton of people that he actually works with. So, but Mandalay Bay, the Stratosphere, my gosh, Wolfgang Puck is on here. My gosh, this guy's got a ton of people that he works with.
Wolfgang doesn't make his own bread?
No,
he's
got Carlos doing it. He's got Carlos doing it. Man.
And when Carlos was going to college, he went to a college in San Francisco, and I guess it was rigorous.
Yeah.
He'd get hit, physically hit.
Wow.
If his bread didn't turn out right, it would be tossed across the room.
Make it rise, make it rise.
Yes, projectiles.
Oh, God.
And so I guess, but he was just very passionate and compliant, and made it through and gained lots of knowledge, and he makes over 700 breads.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? So he's got 700 recipes, 700 different varieties of breads. Wow, amazing. Hey, there was another story. There was talking about this film company that's here in Las Vegas too.
Have you ever been in a movie, Sherman?
I have been in a movie, and you know what? As a matter of fact, we've got relatives.
Yes, my sister.
Yeah.
Our sister-in-law. My sister's car.
And sister's car.
Yes.
That's important.
So which movie were you in?
I was in a movie. I forgot the name, but now it was really a long time.
Yeah.
So, but our sister-in-law was actually in the movie, and it was Mars Attacks.
Oh yeah. Was she one of the Martians?
The one with like the big head, that thing they go walking around. Yeah. But there's a film company in it, and they have the lights, they have the cameras, And now and it's called the Silver State Production Services, and what they are is they're basically a networking group for the film industry. And what happens is we've got a lot of companies that come into town and they'll videotape like just something on the strip. But and then they'll leave. They'll go to like New Mexico.
Yeah.
Because we don't have enough desert here. They go to New Mexico.
Well, there's also taxes too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, a lot of it also is they're saying because we don't have the infrastructure, we just don't have all the people and all this stuff. So these guys have got the cameras, they've got the lights, they're really just pumping it up and getting a lot of stuff here so that the companies don't have to go back out of town. As a matter of fact, they've got a place over off of Fremont Street, and they've transformed the East District into a movie set. So these guys are, they're doing great stuff, man. They've got like 100 freelance crew members, and they've got people all over the place. So you just have to call them up, and you got one-stop shopping.
So basically, what's happening now is that we're creating a new industry here in Vegas.
Yeah, sure.
Well, you know what they do too is they hire the local temporary companies as well as the casting companies to find people to be extras.
Yeah.
Just a few weeks ago, my son and I were called up from Apple One because they needed people to sit in the crowd to watch American Ninja Warriors, right? So we went out there at 1 o'clock in the morning on Saturday and sat and cheered these guys, and now we're looking forward to seeing ourselves on TV in that particular episode.
That'll be fun.
And that helps the economy too because they pay like $75 a day to just sit and cheer.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah. Matter of fact, we'll be talking about something about that local economy thing in our next segment. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about the UNLV grads. And we've got some UNLV grads. They're starting to leave right now. And excuse me. Interesting thing about these folks, they're called Generation Y, the millennials. And we've all heard about the millennials, but these guys are a little different. And so they've got a whole different now. Now DW, you, I, and Linda, we are all baby boomers.
Yes.
And Million here is a baby boomer. I mean, he's close. No, you're Generation X. Oh,
yeah.
Sure, you're a young guy. But us in here, we are generation. We're baby boomers. And so when we got out of school, we had a whole different mindset. That kind of thing. Well, Generation X had a different mindset, and Generation Y is totally out there now. They're like. So one of the things I was reading about in this article was that not only do employers have to treat them differently, everybody's got to treat them differently because, for one, they call them that they have different ambitions, they have different expectations. They said they were raised by a legion of what they call, get this, helicopter parents. What the heck does that mean, right?
Oh, just a bunch of wop, 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 wop.
No, these people shuttled them to after-school activities, pampered them, praised them, and basically, those kids. They were the ones who never did anything wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If they never lost because they were all team players. Everybody got a trophy, right?
You're talking my son.
Is that?
Yeah, man.
I know.
I took him everywhere. Still take him everywhere.
You still take him. He's 40 years old. Get him out. Can I use your toothpaste and stuff like that, or whatever?
Well, the education structure is completely different now too than when we were in college. Our daughter is in college; she's almost finished, and
she's 42.
During the 4 years as she's approaching her graduation, she's been with the same team the whole time. They do everything in a group.
Yeah.
Everything's in a team, so everybody has their piece and part, and they do that for years.
Yeah.
So it's not an individual, everything is in a team.
Yeah, remember when she first started college, we were thinking, well, why don't you get individual grades? And they go, oh no, we do everything in teams. And so, the weakest link is like the team, because they're all joined at the hip. And she's been doing that for years now.
Yeah.
So
I wish my son could do that for math.
Yeah.
He could use a higher grade.
So once they're put out there in the workforce, their mentality is because they've been 4 years or whatever in a team setting, now they're expecting that within the office or the workplace, and so they think, well, we're in a team, and there's really not a chain of command, everybody's kind of the boss.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the problem, is because now bosses, people who've been there, have seniority, they're a little upset. Because the Generation Y people come in, they don't believe in that. They believe in a team concept, so so you have to treat them differently, and they tend to not be motivated by money. Can you imagine? I know there's like a hush in the room.
Yes.
Not motivated by money, but they're motivated by being praised, feeling like they're contributing to the team, that kind of stuff. And so we're finding a major dynamic that's taking place with these new graduates coming from UNLV with Generation Y. And so business owners, you really need to start looking at who these people are, because they know it all too. They've got computers and they know it all. So it'll be interesting. Well, anyways, in our next segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about networking and what's going on in the business world here in Las Vegas. So we really want to encourage you to be a part of the show. You can watch us on Ustream. You can get the podcast of this on the City FM. This is This Week on DNG Radio with Sherman, Linda, and DW. We'll be back in just a minute.
Clear.
All right. Hey, and for those folks that are watching on the webcam right now, we are up and running. I know there's a couple of you watching us right now, and we're going to be drinking. And the things that you'll see us doing during the intermission, don't tell your kids about it.
We're going to be drinking and partying and drinking water.
Ooh, that vodka. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, are you driving?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Generation Y, though. These guys are...
Well, that's my son. For years, I'd take him to school in the truck and then bring him home in my truck, and we had our personal time. Then when he got home, we got on the computer.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get him off the computer, and I find out years later that he has a whole network of people. There's a whole civilization that I don't know about that he's part of.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
His cyber life.
His cyber life,
Yes.
yeah.
Wow.
It's more important than any, and he meets these people at the ComCons and other things, Occasionally he'll have somebody over that he's had on the computer,
Sure.
and they do videos and
Right.
play games together.
Right.
I thought he was just in there wasting his time.
Yeah, they have a whole different lifestyle of communication
It's
and
unbelievable.
interacting now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He doesn't want me anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't want you anywhere near it.
But we can learn from those kids, though, as bosses or, as training them and stuff. We give them the experience, but they have a lot to teach us, too, on how things are going.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Smart kids.
yes.
Cool. You know what? For those of you that are on, I'm not bringing up the chat room, so I'm not going to bring up the chat room until next week. So, so I know there's probably people on there who want to chat with us, but I'm not going to bring it up at this point. So, but we will. Yeah, we'll bring it up next week.
All right, set on the side.
Okay. So this next segment's on conventions.
Conventions, networking.
Networking, big stuff that's coming on. Oh, you know, I want to bring up some of the things that, remember we were talking about this last week, we want the list, and this is good. Okay. All right.
What's that? Okay, final segment 3. At the end, all contact info and emails and websites and all that good stuff. And here we go.
All right, and welcome back, folks, to This Week on DNG Radio. I'm Sherman with Linda Ray and DW Grant. This last segment, we're going to talk a little bit more about some networking events that are going on. A lot of great things. Matter of fact, I want to start off before we mention anybody else's event. We've got an event for the Diversity Networking Group, excuse me, where we're going to actually be partnering with the Asian Chamber of Commerce and YA Events, that's Yolanda Arteaga, and we're going to be having a major blowout over at the City Athletic Club. Really excited about that. We were initially planning on having about 20 vendors there, 20 business owners that were going to be a part of it, and we found out that's just way too low of a number. Excuse me. So we're actually going to move that number up to about 40 vendors. That's going to be huge, folks.
Yeah.
And so real excited about that. We're going to probably have about 400, 500 people there, which is going to be, once again, it's just going to be fantastic. We've been talking to business owners around the area for quite a while now. They're just excited about it. So I want to mention that a little bit. Linda, you're going to have a big part in that as far as planning it out and
Yes.
seeing what's going on with that.
All the physical logistics. egress and all that good stuff.
Well, that's
Yeah.
some heavy stuff on your shoulders. Then.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, when you think about all this, I mean, we've got food trucks that are gonna be there. We're gonna have a climbing wall. We're gonna have a 5K run event there. We're gonna have spin competitions, basketball competition, tons of networking, which will be real cool. That's gonna be on June 21st.
Yes,
That's
third
right.
Thursday of the month of June.
That's right, and the first day of summer.
And
Yes.
Nexion's will be there
Yep.
Yes.
with its own table, and we're going to be taking website links
Mhm.
from every business owner.
Yeah.
If you want your link on our page, just the link itself, we'll put it on there for free. And then if you want a linked link, an active
link
live
link.
link,
Yeah.
and we charge you a little something for that. And if you want more than that, we'll talk to you about what else we can give you for a
Sure.
terrific price.
Yeah, sure. So it should be a great thing that's going to be going on. I mean, there's tons of things going on. You know, Linda, we've got some conventions that are going to be in town. So through the 26th, and the interesting thing about it is if you prepare yourself right now, because some of these conventions are in town like right now, like Recon
Yes.
is in town right now, and so that's over the convention center. Linda, what else is going on here? At least a couple more that are going on.
Oh, a lot of them are based on different, businesses as far as, jobs. So we have Recon, we have the National Treasury Employees Spring Training,
Ooh.
and an educational symposia, MRI of the head and spine of the Cosmo on May 21st.
Oh,
So
I can't wait to do that one.
a lot of these are being hosted at casinos, the Cosmopolitan, Caesar's Palace, the Flamingo,
Mhm.
and different places. So it's just a matter of business owners gearing toward providing services for these attendees.
Yeah.
So being creative and finding a way to make some money and provide services for these people
Mm-hmm.
and taking advantage. So there's a full roster of things coming up here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, as a matter of fact, DW, I know we've got a lot of these things are on Nexions.com, a
That's
lot of
right.
these conventions, stuff like that.
If you click on events at the top of the page of Nexions.com, it should give you a couple of calendars which should be detailing these things coming to town.
Yeah, and really, and like Linda was saying, the most important thing is that business owners, not so much that you go to the event, the convention, but you position your business so that you can service the people that are at these events.
That's right.
Because we've got tens of thousands of people that are coming here to Vegas, on a weekly basis, and if you don't know they're here, then how are you going to, position your business?
That's right. And I want to mention too that the people in town that are looking for part-time jobs, sign up with your temporary agencies, because a lot of the people that are servicing at these conventions are people that have signed up, like at Apple One and some of the other places too.
Right.
And you can get a good temporary job for a week.
Oh,
Good
that's cool.
idea.
Yeah.
It's a great idea. It really is. Hey, there was a Vegas Inc. We love Vegas Inc. over here. They're a great online and regular tabloid that comes out. But one of the things that they put in the back that I love, I love a lot of the articles and everything else, but one of the things that we're going to be doing is we're going to be kind of gauging the health of the city through a couple of statistics here. And one of them is going to be the number of business permits that are actually being pulled. Okay? So the number of permits for building and stuff like that, there were actually 26 permits pulled. And those permits, many of you may not be aware of what a permit is. But what it is they're saying, hey, I want to build something. Okay? So that's a great indicator of the health of the city, is the number of permits that are being pulled on a weekly basis.
Oh, that's 26 a week.
26 a week.
Wow.
Yeah, so the number of permits that were pulled were 26. Guess how many business licenses were applied for?
No idea.
28. So
Ah.
28 new businesses came into the valley. And that's a great indicator.
That's
because,
good.
Because hey, if there were one or two, well, I've got one or two new businesses. That would tell you, guess what, your city's pretty sick. You know what I mean? It's because nobody wants to come in town. But we've actually got some new businesses that are coming into town, and so that's something we're going to keep an eye on, is how many new permits are being pulled, because a lot of these were for residential new construction, which is great. So D.R. Horton and KB Homes, those kind of guys, they're coming into town and they're starting to say, okay, we really believe that things are going to start perking up, so we're going to start building some homes, so which will be good. And so the new business licenses, we've got some law offices. There's actually a company called Castle of Cakes.
Mm.
Yum, yum. And so they are a bakery. They're coming into town. They're probably going to go looking for Bond Bakery or Bond Breads. And
Well, we keep talking about this, I've just gained 10 pounds.
I know. So, so there's some great companies that are coming to town, and we're looking forward to that. We've got more conventions coming into town. I know we've got some more things that are going on here.
I know we talked about filming. I know I just heard the other day that there's a new major film in town.
Oh,
It's coming in, yeah, and they'll probably be looking for extras and things like
Yes,
that.
that'd be
Well, very
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
I don't
fun.
remember the name of it, but it's supposed to be a pretty big movie.
Oh.
We haven't had a really big movie in town since probably Casino back in the
Right.
90s.
That was one that my sister was in.
So was
quite
I.
a bit.
Were you in that one too?
Yeah.
Wow. What did you play?
I actually was a baggage handler.
Were you?
Yeah, I had a chance to get a speaking part, but the other guy looked more Italian than I did. So,
Oh.
Yeah.
But it's a fascinating. I watched Scorsese direct, you know, and listened to all the stars talk, and they were talking about Frank Sinatra at that time, who was just quit the business and was going a little crazy.
Yeah.
And, it was a wonderful time. It was a wonderful time.
Wow.
Just
So,
yeah, it was a
so
lot of
you're,
fun.
you're just a star, bud. You've just got so many talents.
No, I just go look for adventure.
He is adventurous.
You're the thrill seeker. DW.
If I don't get adventure once every couple of weeks, I just,
That's it.
it's like a guy that doesn't get sex, I just start to get all tense. Gotta be something out there I
Gotta
can do
be
that's fun.
something. That's it. Cool. Hey, this other story here is there's a story. Gosh, who is this from? I don't know where this was even from. But this is another story about Las Vegas. They say more and more small business owners are starting to see the light at the end of the recession,
Yay.
which is great. Now, this new report shows 42% of people across the country feel their local economy will improve over the next year. Excuse me. Well, there's a lady by the name of Susan Phillips and her sister Patty. They opened Sweet Ruby Jane Confections.
Oh, more fattening stuff.
Yes, well, yes. It's all about fat.
All about the
Sugar.
food.
Yeah. Now, what they did is they started this company online, but after about a year, they found that they couldn't fill the orders. People were starting to call on them so much that they had to do a brick and mortar. And so they said the business so one of the things that they've seen is that they need to start networking with other businesses in order to make things happen for them. And of course, we know that real well because we do networking groups.
Right.
See, what you need to do is start growing sugar cane or sweet beets out in your
There you
backyard, so you
Oh.
can provide sugar to
Ah.
these folks, right?
There
Because
you
they
go.
need it.
Thinking,
That's an
thinking.
industry,
Yeah.
we could think about.
Yeah.
But networking is really where it's at, and that's where we have found that we get a lot of success. We get a lot to get ourselves out there, and networking is just a matter of word of mouth and building relationships.
Oh yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, we have not advertised formally ever. I mean, we've actually done all of our business through networking, you know, with other business owners. And this company is finding the same thing. Excuse me. Sorry about that. One of the things that they're finding out though is that the Pride is now being promoted by Vegas Loma. Ray Nisi founded the Merchants Association as a support network for local businesses, but also to get the word out that now is a good time to launch your dream venture. So there's a company that basically they started a networking group. Now all of a sudden they got it. So we found the same thing though. We'd never heard of networking groups up until a couple of years ago.
Correct.
And the same thing's happening with these guys. They're saying, hey, these networking groups, it sounds like a fun thing, and maybe it'll work out. But interesting, so they're saying, hey, this is a great thing, it's a support network. Now this is the interesting thing about it though, is they were saying that they're really trying to get people to buy locally. And that's their big thing, is that they're trying to get people to buy locally. And they say that, get this, they said for every dollar spent locally, about 45% stays in the local economy. So, but however, if you spend money with the national chains, like the big stores, only about 15 cents stays in the local
So
economy.
buy local, support your local mom and pop shop.
Sure.
I mean, sometimes I like to go to the big supermarket. You do save money, but you know what? Be nice. Go in and check out some of these other stores. They're smaller, but they're interesting. They have more specialized things, and they're nice. You know, build a relationship with them, and
Sure.
let's build Vegas.
You know, there's a group in Vegas, I think they're called the Shopping Mob, and they get together and pick out a local mom and pop store, and they all go together and they buy stuff at
Ooh,
the
I
store.
like that.
Wow.
They just, you know, I'm pretty sure they get the permission of the store first.
Sure.
when
To
they
mow
come.
them, huh?
Yeah, and they all show up, 20, 30 people, and go and buy from the store.
Isn't that
That's
awesome?
awesome.
Well, that's what we do once a month with our third Thursday.
That's right.
We
Yeah.
go to one local business, and that's what we do. Speaking of that, we're getting close to the end of this. We just want to let everybody know that we are this week on DNG Radio, an arm of the Diversity Networking Group. We meet once a week. Well, actually, have two groups that meet weekly. One over at the Panera Bread over on Lake Mead, 7175 Lake Mead, and the other one at the Murray Calendars over just south of Cheyenne. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you'd like to hear more about our networking group, you'd like to be on the show, because in a couple of weeks we're actually we've already got our guest list started up, but we're going to start having guests on the show. You can go to www.diversitynetworkinggroup.com. That's with one G, and you can get a hold of us. Or you can find us on the web at Facebook, at Diversity Networking Group, and you can get more information on us. You can also go to nexions.com and get a hold of DW if you'd like to advertise on that.
I'm here for you.
Yeah, but we will see you next week, where we'll be here in the chair again with Linda and Sherman and DW on This Week on DNG Radio. So it's been fun, and we will see you next week. Peace out.
That's a wrap. Excellent.